want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. As you saw in the video, we have accomplished so much together, and it's a tribute to so many of you that have been with us on this journey from the very beginning. Paul and I often talk about Chicago, and we have so much love for this city because it really is a city of firsts for us. And it's the city where we lived when we first got married. It's where we bought our first home. And it's where we had our first daughter, Nicole, born when we just had moved here and a little while later. And I have to say, the thing about Chicago that we also remember is it is the city where I first heard those words, Kathy, you have multiple myeloma. It's fatal. You have 3 years to live. But Chicago is also a city where I met 3 remarkable men who inspired me from the very moment I met them and still inspire me today. I met Dean Assink at a Highland Park support group meeting. He was the very first patient I ever met with myeloma. And I remember we both looked around the room and we said to ourselves, we are the youngest here by far. And when we walked out of that support group meeting, Dean looked at me and he said, Kathy, I don't really want to talk about myeloma. I want to do something about myeloma. And a little while later, I was at one of our very first MMRF 5K races. And I'll never forget this. It was a long time ago, I can tell you that, because my sister Karen and I actually ran the race. And we all of a sudden realized we were going to miss our flight home. So Brian Felsen swooped in and drove us to O'Hare Airport at about 80 miles an hour and took that opportunity to tell us that his father, Bob, had multiple myeloma and that he needed options now. And then there was Bob DeBon, an amazing man. And I met him first via phone, and I remember his voice. It was so calm and deep, but I also knew his reputation at Roundtable from Lester Knight. And I thought to myself, this man would help me build the most amazing team at the MMRF that would deliver astounding, astounding results. So 3 men that gave great advice on how to run an organization. Do it now, and do it well. And those words were with me when we started the foundation, and I have to tell you, it didn't matter what barrier got in our way. We were going to build a collaborative model to break it down. So whether it was a tissue bank, a clinical network, a genomic initiative, we designed it, we built it, we funded it, we measured it, we made it stronger, and everybody was watching us. We were the envy of every cancer out there because the results were 4 drugs approved by FDA, 2 more at FDA as we speak, and now 25 in clinical testing. It's amazing. And together, we have all more than doubled the lifespan of our patients from the 3 years when I was diagnosed to 7, 8, pushing 9 years now. We've allowed our patients to see graduations and marriages and grandchildren born. But it's not enough. My 3 friends aren't here tonight, and I miss them. I really miss them. And they are the ones that inspire us every day at the MMRF, because in the back of our minds, we always hear their words. It's great to have so many firsts that we celebrate at the MMRF, but the truth is we have to always focus on what's next, what's going to help us get to a cure. And the most interesting thing is what's next is unbelievable, because right now, we are at this amazing tipping point in cancer research and in healthcare. There are technologies that are emerging. Everything is changing, everything. So when you think about it, the human genome, which took years and millions of dollars to sequence the first time, can now be done in days for thousands. And all of us that know that really critical patient data, all of our clinical results, it's kind of housed in our doctor's offices in those big filing cabinets. Now everything is moving to electronic health records. It's digital. Everything is better to be shared now. It's easier. And all that social networking that we're familiar with that allows us to find our colleagues and friends, over time, that is the same technology that will allow us to find other patients that have our disease, our subtype. All of these technologies are emerging at the same time, and there's absolutely no doubt that the MMRF is perfectly positioned to lead the way in this changing world. And we are. Last year, in record time, the MMRF launched the COMPASS trial. It is a landmark study of 1,000 patients. And we're following them from that very moment of diagnosis, that very first precious bone marrow, but all the way through when they're in remission and when they're in relapse. And we're taking all of this genomic data and this clinical data, and for the very first time, it is going out into the public domain, everybody giving up intellectual property for the very first time, so that thousands of researchers can actually look at this data. And then we're building an online community so that we can allow our patients to talk to each other and find more about their disease, their subtype, find the right clinical trial and the right drug for them. What we're accomplishing for the very first time as a foundation is beyond groundbreaking. And we are absolutely leading the way, because in the back of our mind, we're hearing, do it now, and do it well. Carl Jung wrote, "Vision becomes so much clearer when you look inside your heart." And it really is so true. Last December, I was at a major medical meeting, a big oncology meeting in San Diego. And when I landed, I got an email from Dr. Zimmerman, who's here tonight. And it said, "Kathy, I'm really sorry, but your dear friend, Dean Assink, after a long 10-year journey, has run out of options. And since you were such close friends, I knew you'd want to be the first to know." So I went up to my room at the hotel, and I called Dean's home here in Chicago, and I got his wife, Kim. And as soon as she heard my voice, she said, "Oh my gosh, Kathy," she said, "I just need you to know, when you get on that phone with Dean, he's going to say, 'Please tell me the next drug, tell me the next trial,' because that's what Dean and I did all the time, always looking for that next drug." And she said, "But he's tired, and there's no immune system left, and it's time to say goodbye." So I gave him my love, and I said goodbye, and I went back to a meeting I was running at this major oncology meeting. It was all of our researchers and doctors and pharmaceutical companies, and everybody looks back now and they say, "That was the best meeting we ever had as a team." And the reason is because everything that we were talking about in terms of getting our patients not just the next drug, but the right drug, all came to fruition. I always think in the back of my mind that it's the stories of our patients, it's the journeys of our patients that inspire us to do the absolute best work. But it's all of you that are here tonight that have supported us and allowed us to succeed. And I know, we are on our way at this tipping point to find a cure. And I urge you, please, stay with us, because that will be the most amazing first of all. Thank you.